So welcome to our talk on Ionic and progressive web apps. We tried really hard to come up with a funny title, but we weren't able to, so.
Yeah, I actually want to call out Jeff Cross, because we asked him to come up with something funny for us, and he completely failed us. So I think that, was he the funniest member? He proclaimed himself on LinkedIn, so kind of cross that out now.
So I'm Brandy Carney, and I'm a core developer at Ionic.
I'm Adam Bradley, the team lead at Ionic.
And these are our dogs. They're really upset with us because they didn't get to come.
So, you might have heard about progressive web apps. What exactly is this? I've heard this word a lot. I see it on Twitter. I see it in Hacker News. Come on, explain yourself. What is this?
So in one simple sentence, a progressive web app is a mobile web app that feels and performs like a native app. So your users shouldn't feel like they're using a mobile site or a desktop site crammed into a mobile device. They should feel like they're on a native app. So what does this mean to you? Well, progressive web apps give the users a better user experience. There's no annoying banners that pop down from the top of the screen. There's no full screen ads that take over and tell you to go and download their native app to use it. You just use it. They're better for adoption because your users, again, they don't have to go to the App Store. They don't have to wait for it to download, wait for it to install, and then open it just to use it. They already can just go to a mobile site and then use it. And it's great for performance because of its ability to cache data and static files. And this also enables offline capabilities.
All right, cool. So this is really awesome. It sounds really neat. It sounds really cool. So how do we do this? What's required? Let's make a PWA. Let's do it.
Okay, so a progressive web app has a list of requirements. These are the ones that we believe are the most critical to your application. So the first one being, obviously, it needs to be progressive. It should work for every user, regardless of their browser, because it's built on progressive enhancements. It should look and feel like a native app. It should have offline support and not require a network connection. You should be able to easily find it through a search engine and access it via URL, save and install it to the home screen, and it should also encourage re-engageability through features like push notifications.
All right, cool. So before we can actually build a progressive web app, we need to build an app. And this is really where Ionic kind of steps in to help you out. So Ionic provides library components which help you make them feel great. Let me start that over. Ionic is library components that look and feel great as native components. So because this is all built on Angular, we're able to take advantage of all the Angular stuff. So Tobiler, I believe is his nickname because he made the compiler. By using this stuff that all of the AOT has kind of combined for us, we've been able to really take advantage of the amazing performance. And with the wonderful community that Ionic has, we have a ton of active users on our Slack and forum that can help you during development, and the countless blogs, articles that have been put out for us. And with over 2 million Ionic apps have been developed, you can be reassured this is well-tested, and it's been widely tested across many devices. And the best thing yet is that it's built on the web platform. And I can easily go on and on about this. So what I mean by why it's awesome that it's built on web platform is that it uses simple HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And why that's cool is that it can easily be reused on the different devices. And what I mean by that is with Ionic, we've always been able to traditionally put it into a Cordova application. So what that is just kind of a browser, a wrapper that goes into allowing your web platform app to go into iOS, Windows, and Android. But what's cool with Ionic, because it's again, web platform, we're able to take the front-end and back-end developers to work together, and even web designers to contribute to building this awesome application. And we're absolutely performance obsessed. So out of the box, Ionic provides many optimizations. And here's just a simple list of native scrolling, hardware acceleration, hardware-accelerated animations, which provide those smooth transitions, optimized for touch events. But again, back to what Tobias was just talking about, the ahead-of-time compiler. This is really where Ionic is able to take advantage of all the optimization that Angular 2 has provided. And all of our components are already working with the ahead-of-time compiler. And what that really means is that it's faster at application loading, navigating between pages, and updating templates with new data. So as you can see, installing an Ionic app is pretty easy. So npm install, Ionic start, you can choose from our various starters. And once you do Ionic serve, it's simply firing up a browser. There's nothing really more to it. And this browser is then lets you start to develop your application using our starter. And remember all those bullet points that Brandy said that we want to cover? This is what Ionic can provide for you, is that it's able to get you started with building your progressive web app.
So the first thing that you need to add to create a progressive web app is a web app manifest. And this is a sample of a manifest file taken from one of our Ionic starters. You can see that it's really simple, and all it does is it's basically a JSON file that gives the browser information about your application, such as what icon to use when it saves it to the home screen and what theme color to use whenever it launches. The other thing that it needs is a service worker. And service workers are extremely powerful. They do a ton of cool stuff. Some of this includes caching your data and your static files for offline usage, sending push notifications, intercepting network requests, and redirecting your users when they're offline. And they're also run by the browser in the background, so even when your app's closed, they're still there. And this last link is for service worker recipes, and there's a ton of recipes available online that you can go to, and you can use these as starting points for your application.
So with Ionic in general, I've always been I've been very proud to say that you can code once and run everywhere. And so if you're familiar with Ionic already, you know that, again, back to you can develop on the web platform, web technology that you already know and love, and deploy it to iOS, Android, Windows, right? But what's really cool is that, let's take it a step back further, you are, again, using web technology. So what does that mean? Bringing it on, you can actually deploy it already to the largest distribution channel in the world, which is the web. And all of this is possible because, again, the web platform. And that's what Ionic absolutely loves and shines at.
Okay. So, I don't know how to get to it. How do we get to it?
Can you switch between them?
I can't get to that. Is it that one?
I'm going to open Chrome. Where'd you go?
It doesn't show us desktop 1. That's desktop 1.
Where's Chrome?
How do we get to desktop 1? Minor technical difficulties.
Happens, right?
We don't know. Oh.
So, okay, why don't I try to ad-lib something here? So, kind of back to the Ionic, really kind of where the value that we've seen in the last 3 years in all our development is that you're able to use one single code base. And with this one single code base, you're able to then have the different styles applied to it. So, your users are already familiar with iOS, Android, or like the users as in the person who's holding the phone. They're holding an Android phone, and that's what they're familiar with. And so you start giving them different styles, different things. They don't know where the tabs are. They don't know what the back button. I know it sounds silly to us, but that's actually how most users are familiar with their stuff. So here you can see we've got Ionic Lab. So we fired up our first application here with Ionic Start. Ionic Lab is started, and you look at the 3 different platforms that we have, iOS, Android, and Windows. What's cool is this is identical code. So it's the exact same index file, CSS, JavaScript that's firing up. But you can see the different behaviors that are happening. On the left, you've got iOS with its familiar back button, how the transitions goes left and right. In the middle, you've got Android, which the back button has a different look to it, and stuff goes up and down. And the same thing with Windows, kind of has its own look and feel. So that's kind of a huge value of Ionic, is that the core logic of everything that you're creating is just the common JavaScript, TypeScript that you're creating. But the styles is completely different. And here you can see that with the index file, or like one of our templates, is that this is the very complicated code that you have to write, right? So this is the very, like you just saw what the application looked like and how it was working, how Brandy was going in between the different pages. Well, this is that extremely complicated, hard to understand code of how components work, right? All right, so I'm playing a little bit, right? This isn't that difficult. This is how Ionic components work and kind of like how all of Angular components work, is that you're able to write simple little tags and it's let the component itself kind of fill in the blanks of how it's supposed to operate. And we've put in a lot of hard work to make sure that that the core, the HTML and the JavaScript is kind of a single code base, a single logic of how it works. And then we also provide some great defaults with the CSS. But again, those are just defaults. Those are just what we give you out of the box. And we really encourage everyone to make sure that you're customizing for yourself, changing all the variables. We want to make sure that people are building, their app. And that's a lot of our focus has always been on making sure that developers and designers can kind of make it their own application and not have it look like an Ionic app.
So I'm going to jump over to the demo on this side in device mode. And this is the same exact app, but we're just viewing it as an Android. So you can see here that we have a list of users. And this is being pulled in through JSON placeholder, so just a little placeholder site for data. And each of these images, if you might have noticed, are being pulled in from the Adorable API. So when we go offline, you can see we have no service worker. When we go offline, you're going to see this little dinosaur that tells us we have no internet connection. So we can go back online, and then into our index file, we're going to uncomment this code that I commented out. And this is basically just registering the service worker that we already have added. And it's only going to register it if the browser supports it. So now we've registered it. We're running Ionic Serve, so it's already reloaded. Yeah. So there is the service worker now. You can see the service worker is running. So now when we take it offline, it still has the data there because it's cached all of this data for us. So you can also, this application panel is really cool. You can see the manifest information. So this is that little JSON file that just had a few details. And this is the icon that we passed to it and the theme color. So any information that you pass to it, you can see here.
And it's really kind of like take a step back and explain what's going on here. So imagine you've used this app once before. You're on the subway, you lose internet connectivity, or you're somewhere where you just don't have the internet. You can still use this application, just like with Twitter and Facebook and a native application. You can still use this. And really, let's take another step back. All that Brandy did was kind of add that couple lines of code to the index file. So it's still an Ionic app. So this is kind of where Ionic shines, is that it's already a web app. And it's already a progressive web app by adding those couple lines.
Okay. So.
Right. Yeah, so now this is at the point you're like, okay, how does this benefit me?
So just to quickly recap, progressive web apps offer you offline capabilities. They give you faster load times, faster transition times, because they can pull from the cache. You get all of the great native user experience, but you're still on the web. And Cordova and app stores are not required, which means you don't have to wait on the approval process, you don't have to get a developer account, you don't have to have code signing done, but you can still use an app store if you would like to. And the biggest thing is Ionic apps are progressive web apps. So all you have to do is drop in a service worker and a manifest file, and you're good to go.
And again, back to the Cordova point, Ionic has always been, working great with Cordova so that you can deploy to all of the app stores. But again, this is the web. I know I've said it over and over again, and I'm sure you're sick of me saying it, but you were originally developing all of this app. 95% of the app was within Chrome or Safari or Firefox. That's how you're developing the app. And then you took it into Cordova, and then you published it. But we can get rid of those whole second parts. Now you can just add those couple lines, and you can deploy it to both, or to all of the web, progressive web, all of the different Play stores using the exact same code base. And that's really the huge value of Ionic.
So our demo code will be available at this link. I haven't actually published it yet, but I will. And if you want to see any examples of other progressive web apps using Ionic, we have a few at the second link. And we'll probably just tweet out the slides if you're interested in those.
Oh, and also I'd like to take this time to really thank the Angular team and spending all the time with us to help us during the development of Ionic. So they've been a huge help to us to get us where we're at so far. But we've also, because we've been following along with them, working side by side with them to get this to this point, like we've been catching up with the releases that they've had. So we're very excited to announce that we're finally into release candidate for Ionic 2. Yeah, so it's been a lot of hard work, but it's awesome. And actually, between Beta 11 and RC0, we're seeing drastic differences just because of the AOT compiler. And just the startup times, we're starting to use rollup instead, and actually it's blazing fast. So really try it out. We'll get this all out online on NPM today sometime. So really excited to have everyone try it out and just let us know how it goes. Feel free to tweet us at any time.
Thank you.
And thank you.